So one of the things I noticed is we all like black, so I'm wearing blue. And for those here who are from Intel, it's Intel Blue. We're cool. I want to talk this morning about finding your power. And I've been listening to all of the speakers before me. This being woke, J. Bob's articulation of resistance as an act of love, all of those things together require power and require us finding that power and having a well of power. So hopefully through this conversation, I can help you find some ways to create that power and find that power with us. My name is Bev Crair. I am the Vice President of Software Strategic Initiatives at Intel. Go figure. But I'm also the chief instigator of Intel's Out and Ally Leadership Council. I'm also Jewish, a little bit of coming out. I am the mom of Lauren, my wonderful daughter, and married finally to my wonderful wife, Lisa. Transformation in businesses is about focusing people, processes, business resources on change. And that process of transformation creates fear, right? How many of you have been through a business transformation? All of us, right? What I want to submit to you is, particularly those of us who are in the LGBT community or are out allies, we have a skill in transformation that comes from our history of coming out. And if you're in this room or you're with us virtually, you've come out at least a little bit from that closet. We have a history and a skill in facing that transformation that we can then use in our business and we can use in our communities. When we talk about coming out, I don't know about you, right? I came out over and over and over again. I come out of a closet every time I talk about my wife. I come out of a closet every time I talk about being Jewish. I come out of a closet every time I talk about being a software engineer, because hell, I work at Intel. Right? So it takes a little bit of courage, it takes a little bit of risk-taking, it takes a little bit of vulnerability. And I remember when I came out to my mom, and thank you for the parents who are here today, and I'll try to get through this without crying. When I came out to my mom, she said to me, Bev, why are you doing this? You're going to live a really hard life. It's going to be hard for you. My mom survived the Holocaust. And she thought my life was going to be hard. And I said, Mom, I can't not be out because I won't be living the Jewish values that you and Dad taught me. And I saw this light go on over her head, right? Talk about intersectionality, right? This light go on over her head. Oh my God, she got it, right? And from that day forward, I never had a problem. Not with her, not with my family, right? I was one of the lucky ones. Believe me, I know that. But being that vulnerable in that moment taught me something. Because when I was trying to reach her, I forgot about my own fear. I forgot about my own self-consciousness. And I understood that by being authentic with her and reaching for her, I actually opened the aperture of who I could bring into my community and who is going to be with me. So Danielle talked a little bit earlier about creating a community, and J-Bob talked about creating a community. Use your skill of every day coming out of that closet to reach out and create that community, because together is the way we're going to make the difference here. One of the things that hasn't been talked about up until now is the role of us as tech people and as business people in driving this change. Last year, I decided, I was out at Intel. I've been out at Intel since I joined Intel. But I decided it was time for the leadership of Intel to stand up and be counted, because I knew that there were actually a fair number of other VPs and directors who weren't as out as I was. And it wasn't fair for the rest of the employee community to not see them. And so I challenged them. I created Intel's... We have an employee resource group. A bunch of them are here, right? A lot of tech companies have employee resource groups. We've had them for a long time. My wife started Amdahl's employee resource group in the early 1990s, for those of you who are old enough to actually remember tech at that time. She said people wouldn't remember Amdahl's name. Okay. Sorry, Lisa, you were right. So there's a lot of employee resource groups. And if you're not involved in your LGBTQ resource group, you should be, damn it. But here's the thing I want to challenge you with. Go create a leadership council. Go find a VP, a director who's out and open, who is an out ally, and say, we need you to stand up and be counted. We need you to represent us at the highest levels of the corporation so that change can happen in the business as well as it's happening in the community. In the last year, what the Leadership Council, together with the Employee Resource Group and Intel's amazing Global Diversity and Inclusion team has been able to do, we've totally lifted the lifetime medical cap on transgender benefits. Here's the important part. We modified the definition of our medical benefits for transgender people to use the WPATH definitions. So it's not just about money, it's about what people are defining as medically necessary for our transgender team members. We also, with the help of some amazing corporate services folks who are allies, created, I think this is a first in the high-tech corporate world, we have all gender restrooms in every building at Intel in the United States. Because we have a voice, because we as leaders are standing up, we have a voice and we're making a difference. And that's a critical, critical component. But I've noticed that it's a constant coming out process, right? Because every time I talk with a customer, right, and they ask me about my life or they ask me about something going on, right, it's like that instant of, do I talk about my wife, Lisa? And I find it just a little bit easier every time I do it. I find it a little bit easier. I find a little bit more power. I don't have to cover. I don't have to cover. And when you don't cover, there's an amazing amount of energy that you can apply to all of the things that we need to do and all of the engagements that we need to make. So, I'm about fostering inclusion, and inclusion isn't just about LGBTQ folks, it's not just about people of color, it's not just about women, it's not just about transgender folks. It is fundamentally about including the perspectives of people who think differently from us, yes, including Trump and Bannon, however hard that is. This is real, right? It's fundamentally about understanding where they are coming from. We don't need to agree. We do need to understand. Because it is in that understanding, that we can create change. And when we understand not just with our head, but with our heart, and when we are there with our head and with our heart, nobody can take you off your center. Nobody. I will close with one of my favorite quotes, if I can get there we go. If I do not bring all of who I am to whatever I do, then I bring nothing, or nothing of lasting worth. For I have withheld my essence. So, here's my ask. Today and tomorrow, because you're with your people, is about filling your well of power. And in your employee resource groups, in your communities, use that as a well of power and be that well of power for the other people around you, and then take that well of power and, damn it, make the change happen. Thank you.